It's a bit surprising that I do documentaries because I consider myself to be a really shy person, and there's something about the documentary form that I guess it kind of gives you an invitation maybe to go places you wouldn't go otherwise, or to take risks you wouldn't take otherwise. My filmmaking comes in the tradition of observational cinema, or cinema verite. Legendary founders of it is D.A. Pennebaker, Albert Maysles, Frederick Weissman. They capture human stories, they capture drama, and they capture history as it unfolds. When you talk to people and who they tell you who they are is oftentimes different than their actions, and so I'm interested in people's actions and choices. So for instance, sitting in a hotel room with Edward Snowden as he's making this monumental decision to leak this information is an example of the type of cinema that I'm interested in doing. The last two films I've done, Citizenfour and Risk, I became a participant. There were things that were happening because of work that I was doing, reporting on the NSA. I mean, if you expose the deepest levels of intelligence agencies, they do tend to pay attention to what you're doing. I was placed on a government terrorist watch list in 2006 and was detained at the US border for probably 50 times. Interrogated, I've had computers confiscated, I've had notebooks photocopied. They subpoenaed my records. They would send FBI agents to my film screenings to see what I said in Q&As.
There's a filmmaker named Laura Poitras. Laura Poitras is known through the defense community as a documentary filmmaker who's anti-US.
I became really interested in WikiLeaks and Julian Assange in 2010, like a lot of people. First, when they published the video Collateral Murder, the Apache helicopter footage that showed the killings of Iraqis by US military. And having made a film about the war in Iraq, I knew that this was the kind of thing that was happening every day there. I reached out to WikiLeaks and Assange during that time, and then started filming in 2011, and I was interested in how they were changing journalism. I had somewhat of a public falling out with him over the film, where he wanted me not to use scenes in the film. One of the scenes that Julian wanted removed from the film is the scene where his lawyers are giving him advice about how to speak publicly around these allegations of sexual assault.
It's just a thoroughly tawdry, radical, feminist, political positioning thing. It's some stereotype.
I still have enormous respect for like the project of WikiLeaks and its importance, because I think they've done extraordinary publishing. I'm always interested in access, like I would love to have access to Robert Mueller's investigation into Donald Trump or James Comey, but I think those are, that'd be pretty tough to get access to that. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to like the really good documentary that's capturing what's happening right now in our politics. I hope it's being documented by someone. My name is Laura Poitras, and this is my brief take on documentary filmmaking.